It is my privilege to introduce the Commander, United Nations Command, Combined Forces Command, and United States Forces Korea, General Paul Akamra.
Robert Heinlein, U.S. Navy veteran, aeronautical engineer, and science fiction writer, whom you may know as the author of the novel Starship Troopers, once wrote, Liberty is never unalienable. It must be redeemed regularly with the blood of patriots, or it always vanishes. Of all the so-called natural human rights that have ever been invented, liberty is the least likely to be cheap, and it is never free of cost. In other words, the freedoms enjoyed by those living in democracies today are only possible due to the risks taken and sacrifices made of those in the armed forces. And the newest armed force created to protect liberty is U.S. Space Forces Korea, which we are here today to celebrate. Good afternoon, Annyeonghaseyo, Excellencies, Ambassador, General and Flag Officers, distinguished guests. It's a privilege to join you as we celebrate this historic event. I appreciate the band and the crew who put this event together. Well done. Bravo Zulu, honor guard, you look sharp as ever. Please join me in a round of applause. Space is a vital domain of national security. For the last 60 years, space capabilities have become essential to the way of modern military conducts operations. Investments in space capabilities have increased in the effectiveness of operation in every other domain. The U.S. military is faster, better connected, more informed, precise, and lethal because of space. The establishment of the U.S. Space Force in 2019 has helped ensure the United States is postured to deter aggression and outpace potential adversaries in the face of changing threats in the space environment and growing threats elsewhere. Specifically, the activation here today of U.S. Space Force Korea, a subcomponent of U.S. Space Forces Indo-Pacific, enhances our ability to defend the homelands and ensure peace and security on the Korean Peninsula and in Northeast Asia. It also clearly demonstrates in our actions the ironclad U.S. commitment to our alliance. The new command is a powerful addition to our combined joint Fight Tonight force. I can think of no better place for the U.S. to stand up a new space force than Korea. The Republic of Korea is a close ally, and we can fight alongside in a true technological battle. Together, we are unstoppable. Fortunately, an outstanding leader has been chosen to lead the U.S. Space Force Korea. Lieutenant Colonel Joshua Bootleg Kim is the right leader at the right place and at the right time. He's punching well above his weight class as the youngest service component commander in the Department of Defense and in U.S. Forces Korea. No pressure there, Bootleg. Bootleg has been in space operations his entire career. He is a core space battle management operator with a background in space electronic warfare and SATCOM, orbital warfare, and command and control. My advice is, if some people give you a hard time, not just because of your relatively junior rank, but because the Space Force logo looks a lot like the Starface logo of Star Trek, you can inform them that your logo has been in use by U.S. space organizations as far back as 1961. Star Trek, meanwhile, debuted in 1966.